So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the truth of the matter is journalists don't care about your story as much as you, or as much as you think they do, right? And a lot of the time when it comes down to, working with clients over the years, and more often than not, some of them will even try and do their own PR, really and truly, which is cool, but then they in some cases feel that they automatically must be heard, or their story must be something that journalists has to take into account because it's important for them. However, when you start to dive a bit deeper into the world of PR and media relations, you soon start to understand that the journalist has one main job and one main duty, right? And that main job and duty is to ensure that their readership, right, are the people who are being fed effectively. They're being fed with the news, they're being fed with timely updates, they're being fed with materials and resources that apply directly to them and that they find useful when they find something that is beneficial over time. Your story needs to be something that can adopt that positioning for a journalist to take that story into consideration, or for that story to be of interest. A lot of the times, and we need to bear this one in mind, and this is incredibly important, PR is otherwise known as earned media. That means that you earn the right to be positioned in these publications, in these interviews, within broadcasting, whatever it entails, right? You can go ahead and pay for the opportunity to be presented in different sort of publications, right? That is a whole nother story. That's adverts now. We're talking about paid ads, and that's that section there. With PR, it all comes down to your level of credibility and how you are able to present yourself as a thought leader. And that's why that term is so important in this day and age. And sometimes the term thought leader can be kind of drowned out with all sort of other rhetoric regarding what it actually means. Some people feel it just means that you're just someone that people gravitate towards and that they believe. And in some cases, that's true, but in my humble opinion, I believe the importance of a thought leader is someone who's being able to go against the grain when needed, having an understanding of their industry as a whole, where they're able to provide insights and details that not many people have considered. It's also about people that are looking forward within the industry and having ideas of how everything is shifting and how the whole landscape is changing within their world and within their ecosystem, right? That for me is what a thought leader is. And when you get your head around that more so, then you start to begin to understand that is the thing that journalists are more interested in. They are interested in what they can actually provide for their readership regarding the industry. They don't particularly care that you have a new hire, right? They don't particularly care that you just hired someone the other day. What they do care about is the actual industry as a whole and what that industry entails and how you play a position within the industry. And that is where the gold strikes, literally, when you get to a point where you approach journalists from the perspective of, I have a story, but how can this story help you, which in turn will help your readership? That's how you need to look at it. And that's how you need to have that sort of change in your approach. Because when you start to do that, then you start to realize that a lot of the sort of content that you develop and then the ideas that you propose towards journalists is a whole different ball game, and they'll appreciate it as well, because journalists, they have it rough sometimes. They get sent, if not hundreds, thousands of emails every single day regarding topics and different content ideas and subject matters. And the worst part is that sometimes they don't even receive the actual content that's within their remit and within their particular vertical that they write about and they talk about often. So they have it hard as it is. So you need to make it easier for them, make their job easier for them. In fact, you need to make their job easier for them, so then you can actually not only ensure that you'll be able to secure coverage off the back of you being helpful, But then you're also able to position yourself as a thought leader, because not only did you make the right move by reaching out to the actual correct journalist, providing the correct story for the correct time, but then now, because you understand what they are looking for and what topics they're looking to cover, you are able to provide that angle where it is literally gold, because no one else is providing that sort of angle towards this story. So, alongside you being a thought leader, you need to be different in your approach as well. You need to be daring and you need to be bold to talk about the things that matter to you. Because ultimately, when people just say the same thing over and over again, that doesn't make good news. That doesn't make a good story. That doesn't make something that's compelling for someone to want to hear your point of view as to why that particular thing matters, right? So if I was you, I would really start to look at it from the lens of the journalist. And in the grand scheme of things, that's literally life. Whenever you are looking to do something and you're looking to align yourself with someone else, you always need to see it from their perspective and see it from their point of view as to why they would want what you have to offer. And when you start to shift your mind from that, then you'll start to actually see an influx of actual coverage secured, because you then realize and understood the right angle at the right time. And you also have to bear in mind that with journalists and the way that is so busy, your best bet and your best opportunity in order to actually get a journalist on board or interested in your particular story, be very mindful of what's going on in your industry, right? Be that person who actually has an insight into the actual industry as a whole, and they know when things are happening. They know when there's particular updates that are worth sharing and showcasing. There's particular awareness days that align with your particular industry that you can showcase. There's a particular story that effectively you can newsjack or news hop off of the opportunity to let them know from your lens and from your perspective what that actually means, right? Those are the things that you need to bear in mind when you start to approach journalists. And if you have any issues in terms of not knowing the right approach or not knowing what to say when it comes down to reaching out to journalists, go in my description box below and book a brand authority clarity call. I'm more than happy to help and share some insights with you that can help you on your path in order to become a thought leader, to build your brand authority, right? Because there's three layers to it. There's your personal brand, your business brand, and your campaign brand. But then through that, we can cover all those angles, and then you then have an understanding based on your brand authority pillars where you particularly stand and what can be of interest for journalists, right? That's what I do, man. So I'm here to help. But if this video helped and you are looking to do that, yeah, please click on the link description box below and click on that link. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you found this useful. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Look after yourself. Peace out, man.